Hello Internet, I am Angriff and I am here bringing you a Men of War shoutcast, a Frontlines game that me and my buddy here, Kami, played. This will be my first Men of War shoutcast. Hopefully there will be many more after this.
Should I get a defensive KV, you think?
That's what I was waiting for. Since I am fairly new at the shoutcasting, you are going to hear Kamikaze over there, my teammate. Occasionally when he speaks, it'll be going through, since I had the X-Fire going out through my heads, or through the speakers, so. But he doesn't say too much on this, so he shouldn't be interrupted that often. So, like I said, this is the Frontlines on Silent Town, I believe the name of the map is, and you can see here I'm just trying to erect some sandbags right here in the preparation time. I really like to get the machine gun sandbag over here on the right side, overlooking that entrance. It can really slow them down quite a bit. You'll notice I don't really use a whole lot of tanks, I'm more infantry focused. I believe with the right kind of micro you can really slow down the advances with well-placed infantry, and as you can hear Kami remind us, mines. I always pull out both the combat AP mines and the AT mines, and I prefer to lay them over here on the front lines, which you're going to see me do here in a second. I leave a couple guys back here and mine the backfield a little bit, but you'll notice with the mines, people tend to kind of saturate the place with artillery, and so that'll blow up a lot of the mines if they're placed, you know, too far back where they're expecting your defenses to be. So I like to place them up here, and I can't remember if they do too well this game. Let's see. Yeah, you always want to get those and start laying them as soon as possible, because preparation time is never enough when you're on the defense, so you'll still be just finishing up if you get them as soon. Also, you can see I got a squad of Red Guard here. I don't like the Red Guard as much as, say, Panzergrenz or Rangers, but they do tend to do pretty well. Now with the Red Guard and, you know, expensive infantry.
Hey, you say that, but
sorry.
But do you want them to have that much time to prepare against you?
Sorry about that. I forgot there was one other person on X-Fire while we were.
I'd break it anyways.
So you might hear a couple people occasionally. But like I was saying, you put them in key positions, you know, in houses, overlooking their line of attack and stuff, so they don't all get taken out by, you know, one artillery piece or whatnot. And one of them by themselves can really hold back an attack. They'll just mow down an entire infantry squad in seconds if they're running through and, you know, they don't take any kind of cover or anything like that. And I think you'll see some of that coming up again. You see over here I also got another MG guy making a sandbag to overlook this middle area. And you'll notice I pretty much get a machine gun every time it's off cooldown. And the reason for that is because you're really limited by time with the machine guns, so you want to get them out as soon as the timer runs down. They're only like, what, 45, 60 manpower, something like that, I can't remember. But they can definitely do a lot of work, so call them in whenever you can. Now, I don't know if our opponents, I don't really recall how good they are. We'll see what they do here. Personally, when I'm attacking, I like to use mortars. I think they're really underrated for attacks, especially on this map. There's a lot of cover up here with these front houses, and so you can throw a mortar behind one of those houses and they'll have free reign to really tear up the defenses. You can see now the artillery's already coming down, I think, up there in the front line area. Usually they...
Yes, because as we've learned, bombing the living shit out of us at the beginning of the game definitely works.
Sorry again. Actually, I call it a KV-1 here, which I kind of don't think that was the best idea. I saw that they had like 3 Panzer 4Hs, and I know it's pretty hard for a Panzer 4H to take out a KV. What I didn't really realize, though, is that KV can't really take out a Panzer 4H either, at least not frontally. So I'm kind of just pinging shots off them left and right, and you can see these guys have a lot of tanks. 4 Panzer 4Hs right off the bat.
You know what's hilarious is my KV will beat that.
This is kind of actually what you want to see. I really didn't have a whole lot of faith in our opponents when I saw
Side
this.
shot.
Because you really want to use infantry, mortars, things like that that don't take up all your pop cap and really kind of pigeonhole you into, you know, using that one strat. You're not really flexible with that. So, and you can see I'm not even firing back with my KV right now. I figure it would be kind of pointless to even to try it, so I was just kind of letting them expend all their ammo on me. My buddy over here is actually flanking them from the side, which is a very nice move, and you know, he should be able to get some penetrating shots over here. Like you can see, I haven't even scratched any of these guys, so I'm getting really pissed off right now. You can see they're finally bringing some infantry in now. It's the first infantry I've seen them bring in. You know, at least just throw a squad of conscripts or something right at the beginning, right up the main alley of defense, and just see what your enemy
turret
has.
and main gun damaged.
It's going to help you out a lot. That way you can kind of react and buy something.
Side shot.
You know, that's more useful for the situation rather than just having more Panzer 4Hs. I mean, Panzer 4Hs are great tanks and all, don't get me wrong, but you don't need 4 of them. That's excessive. You can see we have tons of mines laid all over the area. Kami always gets the mines as well, and it really does slow down the advance. I also get a lot of AT infantry. You can see one of them just got shot in the face right there. I don't even know who shot him. I think somebody on the other side of the house. But AT infantry, you can see we buy another squad right here. They're so cheap. They're like 40 or I don't remember, 50 manpower or something around that area. So you know, just buy them whatever. Throw them up kind of close to the front lines. You put them on hold fire if you want to return fire, and they'll take out the tanks no problem. Especially if they don't screen with infantry. And it's kind of hard to screen with infantry when all your pop caps taken out with Panzer IVs. So. Not really a whole lot happening on my side over here. Like I said, that KV, I kind of regret that. He's just being pretty useless over there. Just kind of being a meat shield, taking some shots. Explosions going off, taking out a bunch of my mines. I really hate when that happens.
The hilarious part is all that little stunt did was help me.
But yeah, like I was saying, having explosions take out your mines is really annoying because you put so much time and effort into laying those things and they'll just get blown up by arty. I think they only have one arty piece, so they're not really bombarding us too much. That's usually what I get if I'm on the attack, is one arty piece, just because you don't really need any more than that. One arty piece is usually enough to dislodge or at least disrupt the defense long enough for you to squeeze some infantry through and really start taking some points and stuff. You can see we're already up to 430 points almost compared to their 9. So those tanks have really accomplished nothing. They're starting to kill like KV.
They get cut down really easy.
So I'm calling in some tank crew here trying to repair that KV. I figure they're close enough now to where I can probably pen them with a PCR.
Oh my!
I'm not sure what happened there. My KV-1 just went down now, so... but here's where the AT infantry come in. I think I have some AT infantry laying around up on the top of this hill somewhere. And yeah, I just call in another squad of them right now and bring them up, because they can actually shoot over that ledge pretty easily. So if those tanks advance any farther than they really can, they'll get popped pretty quick, which is coming up a little bit here. This was an interesting game. I'll try not to spoil it too much, but it's like the Battle of Kursk here, except one side has all the tanks and the other side has none. Well, except, like I said, that KV-1. That's about it. Like, see, I'm creeping my AT infantry up here right now, trying to get a shot over that ledge. I figure he's in range now, so I just charge over.
Come on. You know you want to side shot my KV.
Perfectly nailed the turret. I figure he kind of should have exploded there, so I ended up going direct control, making sure I hit the hull instead of the turret, because I actually clicked on the hull there, but it just wasn't accurate enough, and hit the turret instead. Tried to get a shot on the other one, but he was way too far off. And Goliaths.
I see it.
Oh, Goliaths are great little units if you use them right. Those things can be just insane. They're really hard to hit.
Problem? Mad bro?
Here, Kami over here, kind of throwing his trolling out
yes.
a little bit. But yeah, the Goliaths, don't underestimate those.
How do you think I do it all the time?
And you'll notice you don't hear my voice on this, because I am, talking to him on here, and just as he was going through my speakers, and I wasn't trying to record my voice with fraps, so I decided to get a little cheeky here. I actually had a combat engineer who had laid mines, and I actually jacked the dynamite from his destroyed tank and used it to gloriously destroy his other tank. And it was just beautiful. Really one of my proudest moments right there. That's why it's always good to just have guys hiding, even if it's just one or two. They can always be useful, whether taking dropped weapons, you know, especially with, like, if they kill Panzergrens or something. They all have house and stuff. You can see another tank went down there, so they're already down like 4 tanks I think we've destroyed so far. Kami's game is really doing work.
Mad Bro?
Now they're just charging infantry in here, just not even
Mad Bro?
You really need to. You can't just charge infantry in like that. Not in this game. They'll get mowed down. You know, it's not company heroes where you can just bomb them all together and, you know, still overwhelm the enemy. You'll get cut down by machine gun fire. So we kind of stalled their attack here. They're floundering around, really kind of wondering what to do, and so I think they call in another piece of arty here and try to start just bombing out the defenses. Honestly, what they should be doing is, if they're having problems taking the buildings, which we don't really have a whole lot of men in the buildings, but just bring up like a flamethrower and torch the buildings, and it'll spread and they'll all catch fire. And you see here, he's kind of in a face-to-face match here with this Panzer IV, so I have my AT guy right around the corner. And
save me, bro!
And get a shot on his main gun. I try to go back and finish the job, but he turns the turret machine gun on me, and I totally forgot that you could still use that. So, but another 70 manpower, just call in another AT squad and reposition them up towards the front. Same thing happens. So now I'm kind of just sitting back waiting. There's really nothing else that we need to do, because since now they finally bring up a squad of Panzergrens, they just get shooting up here.
Problem?
2 machine guns over here behind these sandbags. And
I'm so getting into KV2, dude.
See my little this combat engineer guy, he's getting confused. He's turning every which way trying to shoot these guys, and finally he manages to zero in.
You know what's funny is
that's a whole squad of Panzergrens just going.
My KV2's hull destroyed, but it's still shooting.
And those Panzergrens are expensive, like 350 I think, and not to mention I can scavenge all their weapons and everything. Actually, what I'm doing here is I'm looking for a see me do the highlighting the items and stuff. I'm actually looking for a bazooka, because if I could find a bazooka or Panzerfaust or whatever, you know, I'd be able to at least take out this back.
They're still shooting at it. Should I call it another KV1
there to just throw an 18-8, but that
for the walls?
Far away. And you can see they're just
wild KV appears.
A mortar here would have really helped them. A mortar here, and then, you know, maybe like an officer to spot down and see what we have, because you can see I don't have that much defending. Unless I float a lot, whether it's manpower or hero points, that kind of thing. I really don't get stuff unless I need it, which I don't know, could be a flaw in my gameplay. Not really sure, but I just like having the points available.
And boom goes the dynamite.
That way, if I need to call something in, I have it available. Especially in Frontlines, because you really have to play Frontlines. You have to react to the situation. You have fallback, so you can always fall back and get all your points back, which I really try to save that until I absolutely need it. The way they fix Frontlines now to where your points actually tick up on defense, which is a great thing. I found that it still really comes down to capturing this, the main front line. It seems like, you know, if you capture that main front line on offense, then, you know, the defending team has to cap it as well, pretty much. There's no way they'll win without capping it as well. So that's kind of what it all comes down to. I don't really.
Hey, bro, I heard you like tanks.
Vanilla Men of War was like that. I never really played a lot of Frontlines in Vanilla Men of War, and it's been just a long time since I played it, since Assault Squad's so much better. Yeah, I think I have like 400 hours in this played now. It's ridiculous. And just now starting to shoutcast it, so hopefully I'll be able to record a bunch of those games for you. I actually recorded about 6 of them today, but it's just kind of a pain in the ass with all the encoding and all that. And since I wasn't familiar with how to do it, it took me a long time to get everything figured out. But I think I have it mostly down now. Hopefully I'll be able to get the quality a little bit better. I was having a little bit of chop in the game and stuff, not too much. So, see here I got a KV2. KV2 is a fun tank. It's the derp gun.
Shitty family.
If you hit perfectly on there, you can really take out any tank. So I'm kind of hoping for a 2-for-1 shot here, and it just nails the building. So always make sure your line of sight's clear when you're shooting these big howitzers and stuff. Sometimes you assume they're going to arc over it. Like the KV2, I really don't think has much of an arc to it. So I'm going to try to move over here to the middle and maybe get a shot on that P4 on the road. And so you can see they're up to they have like 6 tanks on the field right now. There's just no reason to have that many tanks. So we get a bit of a lag spike here from one of the players, but no reason to have that many tanks. One of them drives right up to my AT infantry, and I don't know what they're doing. Like he shot his bazooka and hit the sandbag and exploded, I think, and killed all of them without even touching the tank. So I feel like I kind of got screwed there. Just making sure that my KV2 is firing on these Panzer IVs over here on the road. Call in more AT infantry because why not? There's no reason to call in any anti-infantry because all they have is tanks. So get a nice little shot there. Turret damage. I feel like these P4s get a lot of turret damage. It's happened every time. I actually hit the ledge with the second shot. He goes down valiantly, but he more than paid for himself.
Bazooka, KV2.
And you can see I always try to pick up the bazooka after the main guy dies with it. I kind of wish I prioritized that. Like when you use the arrow to take everything in the inventory, the guy you're looting. I kind of wish it would take bazooka rounds and stuff first. Direct shot on that Panzer IV with that KV2, and you can see it didn't kill it outright, which I was kind of surprised by, but it did fuck it up pretty bad. You can see I call in a couple Red Tigers. I can't say I'm surprised with all the tanks they've been calling in. And first shot nails my KV2, and so I'm not too happy about that. But I feel like we're still in a really strong position here. I'm not worried at all.
I have Spetsnaz.
I just keep calling in AT infantry. I actually get a radio op here as well because radio ops are just amazing. I actually hate them. I hate when they're used against me, but against the big tanks, especially on Frontlines, if you're going up against Red Tigers, all you have to really do is just aim for the tracks with whatever you're shooting them with, and as long as you track them, you can just take a radio op and flare them from 60 meters away, and you're almost guaranteed to kill them. So.
We also have our fallback.
Yeah, we're discussing now how we still have plenty of points and stuff. I actually have used all mine up now. I think Kami still has quite a few in reserve, but the KV derp was actually 8 hero points, I think, and I kind of wasted that foolishly. So
should I get the radio op?
Time.
I get the radio op.
Kami's gonna call it a radio op here as well. And how do those flares cause those huge explosions when they hit a building? It's a flare. You would think it would just bounce off. But I throw one over here, and I don't think these guys even are familiar with
Boomski.
These guys are pretty new to the whole radio operator scene, and you can see I get 3 of those tanks tracked, one of them hull destroyed, and gonna move on, try to get to one on the road now. So yeah, but with the big vet tigers and that kind of thing, I'm really not even, I don't even fear them that much anymore, because you just track them, radio op them, and they're gone. There's really not a whole lot they can do about it. You can see there's just flares going all over the place now.
And then
I'm actually feeling a little cheap.
Somebody's KV shouted as just an insult to
injury. What do you expect us to do when you pull in nothing but tanks? So I kind of wish it was a more infantry-centric game. Especially for the
Do they know what advancing is?
The next one I upload, I think I have a good 3v3 where there's a lot of infantry combat, perhaps a little bit closer in game, so just consider this kind of a trial run. Yeah, I'm kind of maxed out on units, I'm out of points, and just holding down my area. They haven't even made it up to my first flag yet. I think they got a couple Panzergrens almost all the way up there one time, and they all died horribly, so trying to switch weapons here. I hate how they always do that. They always switch weapons automatically. That's a big problem with tanks doing that, AT guns doing that.
Oh god!
Ammo.
We both shot the same spot.
Those excessive amounts of artillery down. You're about to have a bad day. So, boom. He'll go flying and he bursts into a huge fiery explosion halfway through the...
It's like a little atomic bomb.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was too, a little atomic bomb.
What not to do on offense.
Very effective. And yeah, this is a video guide basically of what not to do on offense. Do not do this. Attack with infantry. Use a little bit of artillery. You'll do way better. And kind of having trouble finding good opponents. I think we've lost like 2. And we're not excellent players. I mean, I feel like the Men War just has a lot of bad players. Really just don't play very well. Compared to like Company Heroes, you know, well, it probably has a lot to do with matchmaking and stuff. You know, Company Heroes, you jump into a matchmaking and, you know, you're guaranteed to at least usually get with matched up against a team that's kind of close to you skill level wise. Here it's just because we don't really play a lot of ranked games either. I find that the unranked games are typically faster to get, and so I imagine a lot of people play that as well. So that Tigers are still hanging back. I'm not really sure why they're not.
I'm gonna go for a shot right on that.
Probably just because they lost so many other tanks by getting too close and getting hit with bazookas and stuff. But you would think they only have 5.5 minutes left, so they really need to be thinking. If I was them right now, I would definitely be thinking it's time to change up our strategy and push forward. I'm wondering, they get a lot of points and a lot of reinforced points as well. I see artillery coming down here, and I immediately run my guy back. I think I chose the AT infantry since he was the most important of all those other guys. They're sacrificial lambs. So
got the whole area lit.
Grab the bazooka from the dead guy again, just with a rifleman, and a med pack for good measure. And another. Look at that.
Holy shit!
Track damage on 4 of those tanks from 1 radio op shell. And now I got a Goliath coming up here. I'm kind of thinking, oh shit, because I don't really have anything. I'm actually screaming on comms right now, like begging for help, but there's nothing he can really do, and I don't really have anything taken out, so I just run away.
Ruh-roh.
Get everybody out of there. God. This is why Goliaths are amazing. Look at that destruction. He took out like both those houses, set them on fire, and completely destroyed the KV-2. I think it was already whole destroyed before, but once again I saved the bazooka man, so save the important guys. Got to prioritize.
Was he in that mess?
And now they're just bringing in their tanks a little bit closer, but they're still missing the infantry support. So I grabbed the radio op with the flare gun and that kind of thing. I think he got taken out by that Goliath blast. So see how ridiculous that is. He was on the other side of that building. I don't know if it was him that took it out, or if it was the Goliath that took him out, but I can only imagine that it was, because I don't have anything else up here. So, more flares, more glorious explosions. Panzer IV is about to have a bad day.
Look at my little Spetsnaz crawling around.
God, jeez. Just destruction. Awesome destruction. Yeah, Spetsnaz also, very, very underused unit, I think. I hear people bitch and complain.
You still have dudes in the building.
What you should try to do with your Spetsnaz, they only cost 1 hero point. And just grab him and call in an AT squad and give your Spetsnaz the bazooka. And he gets a bonus to stealth. Like you can see Kami gave him a radio op, or you know, a flare gun and everything.
Speaking of the front,
that's not a bad idea either. I didn't realize he had done this, but that's actually
my little Spetsnaz just advanced so gloriously.
This is just about to be stupid. Hull destroyed, engine damage, just done, and that's it. That's the game. So, oh wait, no, it's not over. Sorry, I was just tabbing up to. That's right.
Because radio op doesn't count as a kill.
Lost. So you can see right there,
which I think is dumb.
They don't count. you don't get points if you radio.
They should just color code each player's.
It doesn't really make any sense. I don't know why they do it that way, but so we've
players
killed
smoke
like 17 or like 20 tanks or something like that. But we've only gotten credit for like 5 or 6 of them. That's why I was looking up that information. It was kind of weirded out at first, but I forgot.
Watch as they manage to stomp our advance.
Like I was saying, Spetsnaz, and we can get a rage quit right here. Can't say I'm too surprised. Call out, good round. Figure we'll play it through. Might back out a little.
That's not mockery.
But before the video ends, I do want to point that out. With Spetsnaz, they get a stealth modifier. They're a lot harder to detect than regular infantry, so just put them on the
Better idea. Oh, there goes the stug, by the way.
Don't run, just crawl. It might take a little while longer, but you can get really close to enemies without them detecting you. So if they have a bazooka, and you know they're just awesome AT units that sneak them behind the lines and take out an important tank, and you're trading 1 hero point for, you know, a tank that's usually worth at least 600-700 points from the enemy. You see, he's running his Spetsnaz, trying to do that, and I don't know what he's look at him go flying. I don't know what he had in his hand, but it looks like
he shot the dynamite.
Oh, he had dynamite in his hand. That's right. He shot the dynamite. I don't know what shot it, but I think the Tiger got like an insanely accurate shot. Hit the dynamite, blew him up. It's wonderful. And yeah, you can see our opponents are kind of asking now, how do you call in the things with the radio op? He didn't even.
Bye-bye, Tiger.
So kind of shows the skill level we're talking about here. So hopefully the next one will be a lot closer. Man, Tiger, he's tracked, so he's just dead in the water. Nothing he can do really. Call him one last flare shot before time runs out. And that should be it. Look at that, that's perfect. One behind, one to the side, and one in front, so there's no way he's living through that. You do want to try
spare me, Tiger!
The flares a little behind the tank, so that way you get the engine, you know, destroy like that usually. So that's it. There's like 20 seconds left, and there's nothing they can do now. Since his partner left too, I'm not even going to do a part 2 on this one.
Try my Spetsnaz right there. He still has the gear.
That's one of the reasons I kind of like unranked is if somebody leaves, I don't have to play through. I can just, you know, back out and start new games. I'll try to upload that 3v3 though, you know, sometime soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.